Alright everybody, welcome to your 25th AngularJS tutorial. This is Mehul, and in this tutorial we'll be looking at providers in AngularJS. Now in the last two tutorials we learned about factories and services, but providers are basically is the head of your services and factories. So services and factories basically come under providers. That being said, that means that whatever you are doing in services or providers can be done, the services and your factories can be done in providers as well, with a little more of flexibility. So you have a little more control in providers than in services and factories. Now let's just take a look at a simple example to demonstrate what I'm trying to say. Okay, let's just create a greet message here, and we'll just hook up this in Angular. So let's just create an application with angular.module set to main app, and let's just write a provider here. So to write a provider here, you have to write the name of your application dot provider, and just like you do in factory, write your name of the provider. Let's just say I'm writing a date here, and a function won't hurt. So here you have your provider. Now this provider has to return something. Now basically, if you remember from our very first tutorials, I told you about my tutorials were like introduction to routing, if you remember, and more on routing. I guess these were the two. So these two tutorials told you how to make use of route and route provider. Now in this tutorial, or maybe in the next one, I'm going to show you how these two things are linked to each other. So right here, when you create a provider of date, you automatically have access to something called date provider in your application.config. Well, we'll be taking a look at this very soon, but for now let's just concentrate on what we were doing. So application.provider date creates a date provider, and then we have to return something from this, and what we have to return would be all which we are going to return. So we'll return this code to the injector. Now injector is something which handles whatever your controllers are doing. So whenever you are like updating your variables in the document, in the scope, then you are basically making use of injector in AngularJS. So if you do like get function, now this get function is inbuilt, and this would be automatically executed by the injector. So now you need to return something to injector as well. So what you're gonna return is just gonna come inside this. Now since this is an object, you can freely create functions or properties inside it. Let's say I just want to create a function show date, and this would be a function. I'll just create a variable date equals new date, and I'm just gonna return from this function date dot get hours. Now you might get confused seeing so many curly braces and so many return statements here inside just one function. So I'm just gonna overthrow you again. This return returns the show date a value, this return returns the injector a value, and this return returns the provider a value. So we are gonna see the value when we call show date, this one value, and the injector is gonna see this code right here. Alright, so now let's just make use of this inside our controller. So just write your application.controller app and function scope, and don't forget to include your provider just like you do in factories. And right here what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set the greet message equal to not a static one, but I'm gonna get date dot show date. So let's just try it on the browser. Let's reload this. So you see I got 20 because it's currently 8:04 p.m. in my country. So we can just verify it from here. So you see it's like Saturday, October 21, 2015, 24 right now. So it returned me date, hours. Now how we can use this as a dynamic approach, I'm gonna show you in the next one, the next video. So till then, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you for watching.